Hello everybody. I hope you're having a wonderful weekend. It's Saturday morning as I videotape this. I have company right here. And then over here is Sport. Yes. You see Sport? I can't see if I'm showing him. Sport, it's today Sport's birthday. And I'll have to do a video. I'm planning on a video about Sport. But today his birthday. He was born 2012. So that means Sport's 7 years old. And he's a very special goat. So someday soon I will do a video on him. But I've had a really busy week. At least the first part was busy. Watched a nursery, bunch of little ones on Monday. I was not the only person there. There was a funeral at my church, and there was a lot of children. And so there was 3 of us who took care of all these kids while the parents went to the funeral. And that was fun for me, not for the rest of them. Most of these people were from out of town. A lot of people grow up around here and move on, or they have relatives who lived here their whole lives, and so they have to come from out of town to go to funeral. So that's why we had so many children at this funeral, because they were all out of town kids. But I did that, and then I had lunch with some friends, and it was just a really nice day. Didn't get much done here. I mean, I did get some feed in town, some hay. So, that was good, but didn't get a lot done on the homestead. Tuesday was very, very productive. Got a lot done on that day. Felt very good about that day. Then on Wednesday, I let the goats out to graze. A little misty, but the things looked okay. And one minute it was sunny. I was making my breakfast, keeping an eye, on the goats outside grazing. But it was sunny. Everything was fine. Sat down with my breakfast, and it suddenly started pouring outside. So I had to run outside, put the goats back into their paddock so they could get to their shelter. I have to keep the gate locked to keep all the ducks and chickens and geese out of the goat paddock. So took care of that. Well, then on Thursday morning, Wednesday we kept having pop-up showers all day long. Didn't get a lot of rain accumulated, but every time I would think about going outside, it hasn't rained, it looks to be nice, suddenly it would start raining again. And so Wednesday was pretty much a washout for getting anything done outside. Got some things accomplished inside, but it was a washout day. And so Thursday morning, I checked the radar. There was nothing anywhere. I mean, it was like a 3-4 hour drive to where there was some very little teeny rain cells going on. Looked at the forecast. I think it was a 10% chance of rain, which pretty much says, don't count on it raining. So I let the goats out. It was a tad cloudy, but honestly, it did not look like rain at all. So let the goats out, come in the house, start making breakfast. I think it was less than an hour, somewhere between 30 and 60 minutes after I let the goats out. And had looked at the radar, and no rain anywhere. It was pouring outside. I had run outside, let all the goats in the paddock. Lawnmower was under the roof of the cabin, on the deck where there's an overhang. I had to feed them alfalfa to get her to even come, because she didn't want to go through. I mean, it was pouring. I was soaking wet when I got in the house. But I got them all locked up, and so it rained all morning. I mean, it was a huge cell. It rained for like 3 or 4 hours. Got 7, or was it 3 or 4 hours? Maybe it was only an hour. I can't remember, but we got 7/100 of an inch of rain. I mean, almost 3/4 of an inch. It really rained hard. And it really took up most of the morning. I mean, the rest of the morning, couldn't do anything outside. It was all flooded conditions. So that kind of put me behind schedule. And so when I finally, the weather was okay in the afternoon, there was, the sun had come out, and I used to go out to feed everybody. And the grass is really tall in the vegetable garden. It's really tall. And so I'm hacking away. I've been gathering grass, harvesting grass to feed some of the animals. And I will grab a whole bunch, and then I use this thing and just cut it. And it works. This is sharp. This works really, really well. Well, I'd already filled up one bucket and dumped it for animals, and I was going for the second bucket. And it was on like my third or fourth, grab it and cut it. And I'm going, I can do this pretty quickly. Well, I cut my finger. And I sliced it. I did not chop it. But I don't know how this didn't get covered in blood. When I came back out of the house, I was shocked that it didn't have blood all over it. But the pain was instant, that burning, stinging kind of pain. Because, this is not a sharp, it's sharp, but it's serrated, so nasty cut. So I go into the house, head right to my bathroom. By the time I got in the house, I had been wearing green shorts and a green shirt, and they had blood all over them. I had blood all over my hand. Somehow I had been holding my hand like this because I was in a lot of pain. And I guess I got blood on this hand because the light switch, I had to wash all the blood off the light switch. So there's blood. I was bleeding. I bleed really well. And so, I immediately turned the faucet on and just start running water over the wound. Who knows what kind of dirt and grass and whatever else is in that wound. So I'm just washing it. Well, while I'm doing that, I reach into the medicine cabinet to start getting out supplies and stuff. And I'm looking for the hydrogen peroxide. And I look all over the counter. I look everywhere in the bathroom. And it wasn't there. And I knew I had some hydrogen peroxide. Now, since then, I found it where I store next to the dresser where I store all the animal supplies. So I guess at some point in time I must have used it for animal supplies or something. I don't know. But I found it in the wrong location. So, but I didn't have it when I needed it. And I was bleeding enough that I did not want to go hunting all over the house for hydrogen peroxide with blood dripping all over the place. And so I just kept washing it under the sink for a while. And then eventually, got paper towels or something and tried to dry it off and clean off my hands with a washcloth that was nearby. And then I put a Band-Aid on it to use kind of like a tourniquet. I've had to change the Band-Aid. That evening, I had to change the Band-Aid because it was so soaked, it was coming through. But, that was a lesson to me. I hadn't cut myself in a long time. A few weeks ago, I got a sliver. But, what I needed for that was different. But I haven't had a wound. I haven't cut myself in a very long time. And so I haven't checked medical supplies in a very long time. And here was an emergency situation. I'm bleeding all over the place. Yeah, it's a nasty cut, but it's not a cut I need to go to, the ER or see a doctor or anything, urgent care. I could take care of it myself. But I needed supplies, and I didn't have those supplies. And it's just a really good reminder to ever so often just take a look at your medical supplies. It is so easy to run out of something and forget to replenish it. Even if I live 60 miles from a town with real stores in it, Walmart, a supermarket, etc. And I know for a fact I have gone, put something on the grocery list, gone to the store, the shelf is empty. They don't have it. And forget to put it on the next month's, because I only go like once a month, maybe twice a month, carpool with people. I don't go very often. And so it's so easy to just totally forget that you're out of whatever it is you're out of. And then when you need it, you don't have it. And it's easy to misplace things, especially like if you have other people in your house, they might put something in the wrong place. They may use it up and not tell you, or it's just a good idea to once in a while go through all your supplies and check. Is everything there? Are you missing anything? If you haven't done that in the past month, take some time today and do it. Just go through your medicine cabinet or wherever you store your medical supplies and check and make sure that you have everything. And speaking of the sliver I had a few weeks ago, I tried. It was in this hand. This poor hand has been getting abused lately. And it was over here, and I tried to get it out. It was underneath the skin, and I just could not get it out. I gathered everything I needed, and I went to a neighbor. I knew who I could go to for help. Knocked on his door, asked, are you in the mood to, remove a sliver? And he did. Especially if you've got family around, you could get complacent about thinking there's somebody going to be there if you do get hurt. But that's not always the case. What if they're not there? What if, your spouse takes all the children and goes somewhere to town and you're staying at home doing something and you get hurt and you cannot take care of yourself. You need help. I once fell when a cart I was pulling broke. And I didn't have any pain, but I had so much blood coming from my elbow that I knew somebody else needed to look and make sure everything was okay. I went to that same neighbor because there was just too much blood. And so I could not see the wound. I could not see anything. I tried looking in the mirror, cleaning it all up, and then looking in the mirror, and it was just at a really bad angle. I couldn't do it. And so I went to that neighbor. So today I ask you to check all your medical supplies and make sure everything is there. Make sure in an emergency you have what you need, that you haven't run out of anything, that nothing's been put in the wrong place. And if you are alone, if your spouse or whoever you live with is gone, or if you're single like me and you get hurt and you need help, even a minor injury like a sliver, do you immediately know? I mean, if that neighbor isn't home, I have 2 more people I can run to for help. No questions. I could immediately drive over to their house, call them up, say I'm on my way, this has happened, you home? I'd get help. No questions. They would help me. Do you have that situation available? So that's just what I wanted to, challenge you to check your medical supplies, tell you what's going on in my life. And I have one more thing I want to mention. Yeah, it's Sport's birthday. Sport is 7 years old today. And I was the first person who gave him his bottle. And he's a wonderful goat. So happy birthday, Sport. And go check your medicine cabinet out. Hope you have a wonderful weekend and you have a wonderful day.